Hi, and welcome to this class. We're going to focus on the third chakra here, Manipura. Manipura means lustrous gem, and I like to think of the third chakra as being the kitchen in your house of chakras. It takes up the whole mid section of the body here. So it's at the solar plexus, that's the origin of it, but it really just governs the entire digestive system and front, sides, and back of the torso. So the purpose of each chakra is to take in information, assimilate it, and then to express it back out into the world. And depending on the flow and the health of each chakra, that's really going to define how that expression comes through. And so here, more than any other chakra with the digestion, we take in that information via nutrients from food and liquids, and then we assimilate that, and then that's really what gives us that energy and that power to express our ideas and our visions and our voice and communication and relation and everything else that our chakras have to offer back out into the world. So here more than ever, you want to really keep that third chakra open and flowing. So we're going to start lying on the back, all right? And we'll start here in this first position, Bananasana. So when you start to walk the feet over to one side, go as far over as you can without letting that other butt cheek lift up off the floor. And then take that inside ankle across, and that's going to help anchor you down. And then you can start to kind of shimmy the shoulders over a little bit. You want to get some good compression here, lots of length here. And then depending on the range of motion in the shoulders, you can keep the arms down or maybe bend them out to the sides. Or if you've got a little bit more range of motion, you can bring them all the way up overhead. Grab my timer. And I really like Bananasana because it does get lots of length on one side and compression on the other. So it just starts to wake up. You might notice even within the first minute or two of lying here, you might feel your digestion starting to gurgle or something. So that's always just a good sign that says it's paying attention. Notice how the body moves as you breathe. And this is a yin position, so you want to keep the muscles as relaxed as possible and just let gravity do some of the work. And once we're here for maybe a couple more breaths, I'm going to suggest that you just maybe get a little bit further into it. You can start to shimmy the shoulders over maybe. And I think going beyond the soft tissue, what I also like to do in this position is just start to become aware of the position of the spine here. You might feel compression and extension, but we also have that really nice lateral position of the spine, which just helps to increase that range of motion. And we'll take 3 more breaths here. And then go ahead and bring the shoulders back to center. And you can bend the knees walk the feet back and then level out the hips and shoulders. Just take a breath here. You can drop the knees in toward each other or keep them neutral. Nice deep inhale. Let's go ahead and do that on the other side. Start to walk the feet over, get as far over as you can. And then anchor with that inside ankle, and then start to walk the shoulders over. And you can notice if there are different sensations on this side. Our two sides are always going to be different. So I really encourage you to embrace the differences, work with them, rather than pushing for the two sides to be the same. Let's see if you can maybe get a little bit deeper into this. Nice calm breath, but a very conscious, aware breath. Take 3 more deep breaths here. All right, nice work. Start to move the shoulders back to center and bend the knees, walk the feet back, level out the hips and the shoulders. And we'll just take a couple of breaths here. I like to drop the knees in. It just helps to get a little bit of space in the pelvis. All right, go ahead and grab a block, or if you have a bolster or something else that you like to use for some support, we'll come into a supported bridge here. So you can start with the block on its mid-height side, and you want to get it under the sacrum. We're going to keep the knees bent and the feet on the floor. So you can also start up on its higher side, just depends on what you are using, right? You can also change this while we're in it. So third chakra is all about self-discipline, and the real key word for Manipura is mastery. So this is this is your get up and go, or the drive that you have to complete projects or to really master something. This is, I think of it as the steering wheel of the whole system, driving you and directing you through life. the element is fire. So you always want to think of that fire in your belly. And is it burning excessively? Are you burned out? Or is it so weak that you just feel passive and you don't really have any drive, or you don't really feel motivated to get anything done? So this sequence will help to just get that fire burning and bright, balanced. Yeah. Every chakra has its own right, and the right of the third chakra is the right to choose and the right to act on that choice. So I think that's a really powerful thing to think about while you move through the next few poses. So if you feel like you have the right to choose, it's so easy for us to say, well, I didn't have a choice. We give that power away. You do have a choice. Let's take 3 more deep breaths here. If you have the block up on its highest side, go ahead and lift up, and we'll bring the hips down just a little bit at a time. Flip it onto its mid-height side. If you're already on the mid-height side, just hang out here with me for a couple of breaths. And then go ahead and flip your block onto its flat side. And with the hips, scoop that block out from underneath you. And go ahead and take a big stretch up overhead here. And then bring the knees to the chest, and we'll come into a twist. So we're really paying attention to that third chakra. And I think that every part of the body, and not just the physical parts, but even the subtle parts. So we're talking about Manipura, we're thinking about it, and we're doing these shapes. And I really believe that every part of us wants to function optimally. So when we start thinking about it or focusing on it, giving it any attention, I think that it instantly perks up and wants to do better. And I really do believe that it's that simple. And bring the knees back to center. Level out the hips and shoulders, and then we'll take that twist on over to the other side. Just notice how the body moves as you breathe. And then bring the knees back to center. And just gonna roll onto the belly here, okay? Onto the belly. And in this position, I wanna get as much weight on the belly as we can, right? So there's real power in getting a lot of the weight on the belly and waking up that digestive system. So we're gonna come into a pose that is not typically done in yin. This is called Dhanurasana in a yang practice. Go ahead and reach back for the tops of the feet or the ankles. I want you to think about coming into this slowly. So the first thing you want to do is squeeze the shoulder blades together and then just start kicking the feet away from you. And just think about lifting the thighs further up off the floor. So get off of the pelvis and try to really stay on the belly. Lift the thighs up. You can tuck the chin if that feels better. You can keep the knees far apart. You don't have to think about any rules of alignment here. Just get the weight on the belly. And nice deep inhale. Maybe lift the thighs a little bit more. And then exhale, go ahead and release. Turn the head to one side. Just take a one breath rest here. And then bring the hands alongside the waist and sink the hips. And come into child's pose. And you can roll right on up to a seated position. So this is a great sequence to practice. Anytime you're feeling like that fire in the belly is a little bit low, or you've got maybe a decision that you're having trouble making, and this might help to just get that fire burning and balanced and bright. All right? I'll see you next time. Namaste.